You will sleep better than you have ever slept. You've never been this relaxed. Are you ready to change your life? I'm Rusty Diamond, certified hypnotist. You don't need to leave your house. You can stay in your bed. You can stay in your favorite chair. You just need a computer or your phone. You can get a hold of me. Stay at home. I'll make your life better.
Hypnosisisgreat.com.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Well, Miss Rusty, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to a new year, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. That's where we are, apparently. That's what they're telling us. That's what they're feeding us down our throats. That is 2024, but who knows what year it really is or what a year is? I don't know. So, welcome to the podcast, public access podcast here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. And with that, welcome. And my name is Rusty Diamond. And I feel like I'm a smartass today. I'm in a smartass mood, I guess, so this might be interesting. But it's not about me. It's about my special guest that I have on. And I have my special guest right here, right now. And my special guest is Roger Peters, aka Rook. How you doing, Rook?
I'm doing great. Thanks for that.
Man,
Appreciate it.
yeah, I found out I'm in a smart ass kind of mood today, so I don't know. I apologize ahead of time if I get into a little bit of smart assery. And
That's okay. That's where I shine. So bring it on.
okay, all right, I like it. I like it. What brings you into the world of smart assery? Is that have to do? Does it happen a lot?
We're gonna blame it on trauma as a child. That's just how I react to things. That's how
Okay,
my parents reacted to things. It's just it goes in the family, you know.
it does, and you're like, okay, well, let's just be a smart ass about it, and
Sar-
it helps
sar-
out.
Sarcasm is a language that was a necessity to learn early on, for sure.
Yeah, and look at where it got us today. It got us here onto the podcast game. And man, the podcast game is wild. It's I don't know. I don't know where it really originated. I guess I do know where it originated, but I don't know how it came to be. And now a lot of people, everyone's gonna get on the podcast game, which is cool. And I'm happy, and it kind of makes everyone have to step their game up a little bit. And I like that. I like that there's people doing that, and there's a lot more people who are willing to be on a podcast, and you don't have to go and be like, "You want to be on my podcast? Oh, what's a podcast?"
I don't know. I still deal with that from time to time. For people that are just like, I've heard of these things. How do you do them? And then you get to explain the process for 40 minutes. It's great.
Right. And you're like, well, in that time we could have done a podcast. And you know, how do you record your podcast? Do you do video or do you
So,
do
yeah. So we record live on Twitch, and then we go through
oh,
Streamlabs and do it that way, and then we upload to all the RSS feeds and YouTube and all that fun stuff for ours. So ours is done live, so we don't really edit things, which is so nice because we tried to edit the first few and it just like took forever and we weren't good at it. So we're just like, you know what? It's better if it's raw 99% of the time. As long as they're not naked babies or people being POSs on the thing, we're good to go.
Right. And that's kind of how I was too. I thought maybe, hey, I'll edit it, especially when people started hearing it and they're like, you need to edit this. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not gonna edit a thing, man. I'm not. You want to edit it? And they're like, nah, I don't want to. Like, it's your podcast. Like, okay, well, it's my podcast. I'm not editing it. And so, yeah, learn how to kind of do everything on the fly, and it's nice. I couldn't imagine having to sit here after each one and edit it, especially to like I know some podcasts, and it's great. All the power to these people that will go and take out the buts and ums and uhs and all that kind of shit, or or bleep things, or just do all this stuff. And it boggles my mind that they can do this. And yeah, I'm not one of those people. And plus, I don't want to lose the feel of a conversation. I don't want it to sound not natural, to make it sound good, to make it sound crisp and clean and all that.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to put stuff out in a day comparatively to 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
there's a what's the time frame? A long time ago, I heard if you're doing really good editing, for every minute of screen time that you have, it's an hour's worth of editing work. But that's for like video editing, so you're taking and like adding effects and silly things and ha ha ha's and whatever to your background, bleeping stuff like you said. So it's way more detailed on what you're editing. If you're just doing the voice side of things, not as crazy. But I remember for ours when we tried to do it, we have an hour-ish long podcast most times, or at the least 30 minutes. You know what I mean? I don't want to put 30 hours worth of work into something that, I'm just making myself not say 17 times.
Right. Um, there. I mean, see, that would be something I'd have to stop and like go, oh, click to then listen to that, and then get that sound part, delete, and then move on and be like, okay, now does it flow? Do I need a little buffer in here so it's not just and right to the next word? And
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
man,
Exactly.
I applaud anybody who edits stuff. I've tried editing video for stuff, and it's a lot easier for me to hand it off to somebody else. And if I have somebody to do it else, someone else to do it, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper if I have somebody to edit my stuff. If I have to pay them, that's okay. You don't get many people who are like, "Oh, hey, man, I really want to get in on what you're doing. You don't need to pay me anything." Maybe sometime in this life that might happen. But I feel like pretty much anytime someone wants to edit, they're going to be asking for some money, and
Which is fair. You know what
totally
I mean?
fair. It's a pain in the ass, and I don't want to do it. It's
Right, exactly.
it's worth my time to and my money to go and pass it on to somebody else.
Feel that.
Yeah, I mean, even like if you look at the beginning of this episode, there's a commercial on here, and that thing, like I hand it off to somebody else to do because I didn't want to sit there and edit it. And plus, like with the podcast too, uh, I had a lot of people tell me, "Oh, you got to go and clip this shit out," and um, that would just I couldn't even imagine doing that. That just
So,
drove me crazy.
on a note from that, we for ours, not that I'm very good about remembering to post them or save them or not, but we have a couple different AI things that we use to clip ours up to make shorthand videos for like TikTok and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And it works really well. You can go through and edit stuff later to make it closer to what you want, but like it'll have a narrative description and all this other fun stuff. If you don't mind if I shout them out really quick, they are Clip It AI.
Opus.pro,
Opus,
clipit.ai.
yeah, yeah. Opus is cool too, but their processing times are a little bit different and harder to work with. These other guys are kind of new, and we know them personally. They're super cool dudes.
What's it
Um,
called?
uh, Clip It AI. Let me make sure I'm saying that right and not being dumb.
Oh, I
Um,
love it.
And
That is what
they
I like
just
to
they
hear.
just started going live and charging people for stuff, and their prices are relatively reasonable, at least in my opinion, for someone who's been searching and doing things for a long time. I personally love doing AI stuff. We augment a whole bunch of our business things with AI. So much so that I had to add a policy in our company policies about it, just so we're in the free and clear for if people get curious about stuff.
Like what?
Uh,
What?
um, so
Elaborate
we're
on
what
that.
Sure. So like we use AI for framework for some of our writing stuff. You know what I mean? We'll have ideas printed out or be like, hey, we want you to write about this. And then we go through and edit it and change things and make stuff our own, right? We do
Ish.
AI. Yes, yeah, exactly. And then we take AI art is a big one for us. You know, I'm a terrible artist. My business partner is not a great artist. So we'll take AI art, make it as cool as we want with however many prompts it takes, and then we'll go through and edit it and like remove the weird fingers or make things look prettier, that kind of stuff. Before we add it to our final works. You know what I mean? So it's not straight
Yeah.
AI, it's AI based is probably the easiest way to describe what we do. And if we find something that's like, wow, the AI just literally just ripped somebody off, we remove that because we don't want to be taking people's artwork and claiming it as our own kind of thing.
Well, so now, I mean, you got Steamboat Willie just went into public domain.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. Side note, I did say it wrong. Sorry, it is AutoClip AI, not Clip It. So AutoClip,
Autoclip.ai.
yeah, AutoClip AI.
Is there a give it a rook in the thing to get some sort of a
Nope,
discount?
not yet. But you know what? If you tell them I sent you, I'm sure they'll know who the heck you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I had to just bookmark that real quick. I got yeah, those things. It's been nice, man. Like, cause that's something like I don't want to go through each time after, especially after I finish the podcast, like go back. What was interesting, or like, or even like if I'm in the doing the podcast, like to mark something like, oh, okay, write it down. Like, oh, this part right here would be a cool part to put into to make into a TikTok video, or
Yeah, and like I said, makes it really easy. We besides the auto clipping thing, because our long form videos that we do for YouTube every other week for the games that we play and whatnot are 4+ hours, or 3+ hours. They're long form videos, and it goes through and makes 100 clips for us to look through. Now, are all of them top tier, amazing quality? Yeah, but some of that's on us as actors and entertainers comparatively to what the AI is picking up. They have a cool little rating system that's like, hey, this is what we would call super engaging, or this is terrible, but we clipped it anyway. Uh, and you can edit
it,
and change things and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's really a great system. They've put a lot of work into it, and I am happy to be one of those people that kind of like got to test things out for them.
yeah,
Um,
and I mean that's helpful. That's helpful for everyone. That's gonna get their name out, and that's gonna save you a bunch of time, and that can save a lot of other people a bunch of time, especially if they go, "Hey, I heard Rook talking about it. You got to get your thing on there. The what's it called?
the affiliate stuff.
The affiliate. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, affiliate's an interesting thing, man. Affiliate marketing. Uh,
Yeah,
it's
so
wild.
when we first started well, I shouldn't say when we first started, but about a year ago, we joined an energy drink community. We're super excited about it because they were our first sponsor, uh, and whatnot. And we did a whole bunch of advertising. A whole bunch of our earlier videos has links to their stuff and all this fun things. And I think we made a whopping $1.25 uh back from people buying stuff through our links. Um, I
Affiliate
mean,
marketing was kind of, unless you're huge, it's kind of whack.
yeah, but it was
Something I
something.
learned.
Yeah, I mean, it was something, and it was a good learning experience, and we made plenty of friends and whatnot in the community that has kind of jumped us along. Because some of our fun stuff is because we stream on Twitch, we deal with a lot of like video gamers, comparatively to us who are tabletop gamers. And don't get me wrong, I play plenty of video games. I love video games, and we do stream that on our channel every once in a while when I'm feeling frisky. But generally, our streams are all people playing board games, or tabletop games, I should say. But
What
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what's the crossover between or the difference between a board game person and a video game person?
Um,
What?
so, so specifically for TTRPGs or tabletop role playing games like D&D, Pathfinder, Starfinder, stuff like that, they are like the grandma of video games is the easiest way to think about it, right? Or the mom, whatever you want to call it. They are the base for most games underlyingly, right? Most computer programs are based on these systems, whether or not people realize it or not. Any turn-based game basically in the background rolls a 1d20 to see if you hit or miss, right? Or a D100 or something like that. You know, there's an internal program. You might not see the dice on the screen like you do in like Baldur's Gate or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what the computer's doing for you, is rolling your quote unquote dice. So most of it is the foundation for most of these things in the background. So that is
What?
the
What about the people? Like, if you see someone, and you go, oh, that person's a gamer, or that person like a video gamer, or that person is a tabletop gamer. Is there usually something you can tell about the person?
so that's the wonderful thing about tabletop games is they can be anybody. We personally preach from 5 to 99. As long as you can read and do math, you're good to go. Um, but at end of the day, there's not really, especially nowadays. I mean, there's really not a way to tell a difference between the two because they're so interchangeable. There's
Mhm.
a ton of crossover between the two groups of people because there's just a lot of similar enjoyment levels. You know what I mean? Get the same serotonin boost anytime you sit down and play a video game, or dopamine boost while doing the stuff. Uh, and it's just really people's time and interest. Video games, you can sit down and play a match of Call of Duty and we'll say 15 minutes, right? Or you can play for 8 hours, right?
Right.
Whereas board games, you're kind of like, most of them are at least an hour to 4 hours to 24 hours. I mean, I've had D&D sessions go on for multiple days. Back in high school when I had way more free time, we had I think our longest session was, oh god, 3 days, something like
Holy
that.
shit.
Yeah, I mean, we took bathroom breaks and got food and stuff like that, but it was a giant end of the campaign session that we just kept going and going and going until the story was finished. Um,
So how easy is it to cheat then at that point when you're going on 3 days? Like, are you
oh,
hiding shit when you go up to leave, or?
so that's that's the fun thing about TTRPGs is there's really no way to quote unquote cheat. Like you can lie about whatever you rolled for your dice, right? Or fudge your rolls or things like that. But because there's no quote unquote winning, you're not fighting other people. It's collaborative storytelling, right? Is
Yeah.
the end goal. You're really just cheating your own narrative, right? Sometimes it's a better story if your character dies. Does anyone like it when their people die? No, no, no one likes to die. But sometimes it's a much better storytelling experience when the bad luck catches up to you and your heroic Yahoo just gets slaughtered because that's the way it goes. Game of Thrones has good examples of this where people just die, right? It's more true to life. Now, mind you, I feel like 99% of the time on Game of Thrones, it's a little artificial and like they're just killing people for excitement value. But in
Yeah.
the stories that we're telling, people die. Things happen. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's quick and sudden, and sometimes it's a slow, arduous, been having a bad night kind of day. Rolling all twos just finally gets you. You know?
And so then what are you doing with so I mean, yeah, this has been a while. Like, you've been into tabletop gaming since you were a wee little lad.
A wee teenager. Yeah, so I've been doing it for over 15 years now. Um, and I mean, I've been playing video games themselves longer than that. I started a Game Boy when I was like 7 or 8. Playing Pokemon and whatnot.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
so I've been connected to electronics for a long time. But as a teenager, I picked up D&D with my family actually, and we still play to this day.
You
And
play
then a
with your
few,
family.
I do. Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit.
My my parents are the ones that taught me how to play, and we still play whenever we get a chance. Um, like we played this last weekend, or sorry, Monday. Yes, yesterday. Oh god,
Couple
what day is it?
couple days ago.
A couple days ago, whatever
Are,
Monday was, New Year's
right.
Day.
Are you
We
still in the same house then
Oh
doing
no
this,
no
or are you
no
guys
no.
all in a computer or
Yep, we did it
something?
online. Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I was gonna say that'd be the part that'd be, with technology, you're able to do that now. You're able to
Yep.
be a little further apart. You don't have to have everyone in the same room, and you
Yeah.
get to those
So
3-4
part of
day ones.
yeah, part of our business was figuring that part out, the getting the feel of everyone being at a table without actually being at a table together. And I like to say we did it pretty well. You know, when you play with us as a company, you come in and play games, and it feels like you're sitting at a table BSing with friends and family. If you've had that experience before, it's very familiar. It's just a little different. If you haven't had it before, you get a taste of what it could be.
So
And then obviously we still do the in-person stuff where you're like hanging out with your friends and family if we're, playing with locals and whatnot. But online is always an option and it makes life easier for some people.
so as a company, people are finding you and are like, you're like walking into their world. You're walking into their world, and you're like, do you guys have your own slang and terminology and stuff? People come in, and they're like,
So yes and no. So obviously there's acronyms like D&D is shorthand for Dungeons and Dragons, not Do Not Disturb, and we got to explain that kind of stuff. Telling people what a TTRPG is or a tabletop role playing game is like the first step. I always have to explain what that acronym is because I forget that not everyone knows what it is. Um, the downside to having a niche business is you forget the terminology isn't worldwide for everyone to understand.
yeah,
But so yes, we go in and tell people, we teach new people all the time. You know what I mean? If you have zero experience playing tabletop games, we got you covered. Um, we do little bazaars and whatnot, at least locally. So we've been playing this last year. We did a whole bunch of them. Well, 1 or 2 a month kind of thing. Whenever we got a chance, we pop up in a place, play games, and kind of give people introductions, and then sell all the fun dice and other fun things that come with playing the games. But that's where we introduced a lot of people to what the heck they're doing. They've heard of it, they've seen it on like Stranger Things or whatever. They were playing with the Demogorgon and whatnot in Stranger Things. That's a touchstone for a lot of people these days. That, or they're like, you guys are just nerds that play in the basement, right? And we go, only if you have a basement and want to play there, weirdos. Most of us play at the kitchen table.
I
Like civilized
moved up,
people. Yeah,
graduating up to the
have snacks and stuff ready. Whatever.
right. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's different than, yeah, different kind of. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, you don't call people up and be like, "Hey, man, you got a basement? You got a basement I could go hang out in?" Like,
No, we definitely don't ask people, hey, you got a basement? How's it going down there? Is it creepy and damp yet?
yeah,
No. We don't do that. We make it as comfortable for the people that are playing with us as possible. We work with businesses too.
like
We
for team
focus a lot.
building shit.
Yeah, exactly. Employee retention and like retraining owners how to interact with their employees. Because we've noticed as both employees for other people and just like from all of our friends and family that just like companies don't seem to care as much these days, right? They've kind of made people numbers, right? You got to have 10 employees that are employees 1 through 10. You might know their names, but you don't care about what they're doing or who they are or stuff like that. So we
Right.
introduce our stuff as a fun way to reinvigorate the care on both the employee side and the employer side,
Oh,
uh, for through gaming, right? So it's disguised as fun after work or during work activities, that you can get stuff and things, depending on how you set it up, because we like to customize from top to bottom. That's another shtick for us is making things as complex as you need it. But to get that retention back, to get that company loyalty on both ends, right? So as employees, sometimes it's really easy to jump where the money's at and just go there because they're paying better. It's really
right.
easy to do that when the boss doesn't know your last name.
Yeah, and I mean, there's been jobs like, I mean, peace of mind is worth a lot of fucking money in a
Right.
job. Um, I mean, I've had jobs where I've made more, and it's just like I can't fucking do this anymore. Like this is driving me crazy. These people, like, I don't like them. Like, it's not worth it at the end of the day to stay there, and it's just get something. There's got to be something else. There's got to be something else, and I'll take a little pay cut to take care of that. But I
Right.
mean, so are you, when you have these games with companies, are you have something like, oh, we're gonna get everyone to play D&D, or do you have like some game where it's like you kind of
So
have it set towards it when it's a company like that to
So it really depends on company time and how they want to manage things. D&D is relatively easy to teach, especially with the new fifth edition and so on and so forth. It's popular and lots of people tend to know it. But we do way more than just D&D. We do like 7 or 8 different systems that we're quote unquote certified in.
what
Where
do you mean,
we
quote unquote?
we certified ourselves. So
Okay.
we have a standard that we have. If you're good enough to basically teach other people how to play, you get certified with us. We have a little certification program in the company itself. So if you want to be certified with us, comes with a handy dandy little not placard, that's not the right word. Certificate, that's the word I'm looking
Okay.
for.
Cool.
As you're doing stuff and things, uh you get, certified, and then once you hit our tier 3, whatever, you're basically good enough to work for us. We contract people out, stuff like that. Um
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. Not super utilized yet for a company because we're still babies over here, but whatever.
Yeah, you're
Um,
setting the groundwork.
exactly. But with our certification, we have, a guaranteed, hey, there's a set quality standard, so on and so forth. And then we present those to those businesses and be like, what is the best fit for you? Time wise, what you want to do, so on and so forth. Again, D&D is easy and we have a lot of stuff for it, but if they want to play like with robots because their company is, a electronics based robot building company and it's way more on theme, or they want to do a modern day thing. They want to take literally their employees from the office and turn them into characters on a board. Whatever, what I mean, we'll figure it out and get it pushed out to whatever system is most appropriate for them, and what their time is, and then we change how we do stuff. So generally, like regular, you and 3 friends, right, come to us to play D&D, and we do a 4-hour long session, right? For businesses, because 4 hours is a long time to dedicate either before or after work. We might break it up into a week of playing, where at 1 hour at work every day you're playing, right, to do this little
Oh,
adventure.
okay.
Or we'll have super short mini sessions that are only an hour long, so we modify rules and things to make stuff easier. So it's not necessarily D&D, it's just D&D-esque, to shorthand things, and that's all stuff we talk with the employers and get figured out ahead of time, so it again fits their time, their schedule, their employees' wants, needs, desires, whatever's best for
So with AI,
them. Hmm.
what have you been testing AI? Hey, help me create a game. Is that
um
something that comes out ever? And like get
so
some back and forth in there?
yes and no. So a great example is our theme song that we have that we play before every one of our podcasts and stuff like that. I did it all through AI, and text prompted whatever, edited it, and then put it into an AI vocalizer and music crafter thing, and then that's it. That's the song.
Cool.
And so it's all crafted there. As for like making a whole system, I don't think I would trust it. As someone who's played a lot of different systems and seen the shortfalls and the benefits of doing it,
Yeah.
it would be much easier for me to write and do. Do we use it to make random lore for characters or like character concepts or things like that? As a base, sure. As a final product, no. AI is really not at a point yet where it is gives enough human element to things to polish stuff well enough. It's too repetitive, too formative, to make things feel super real. And I mean, even the good ones, they're much better, and they can write any kind of formulaic document you want. So like, if I need a template for something, AI all the time.
Yeah.
And then you go through and fill stuff out and go from there. But if I wanted it to write a whole lore on a planet kind of thing, I think it would come to a place where it just like sounded too repetitive and too familiar. And it just genericizes too much. Now you can obviously make stuff that is way more pointed and be like, I need this point, this point, this point, all filled out to make stuff feel more uh fluid or connected. You know what I mean? So it's not so formulaic, by giving it the specific prompts you need, right? Or starting with the base and then prompting it out to where you get a final product that you're happy with. But most stuff, right, is only going to write a page or two at a time, and you'll have to restart on prompts and things like that from there. So having it write a whole book, most TTRPG source books are a couple hundred pages, would be a lot to do. For AI currently, could they do it in the future? Sure, they could. I don't think they'd ever do it as good as a person, right? I wouldn't trust an AI to write up a whole book all by itself and then publish it as is, but eventually. I'm a very big fan and proponent of it. I hope the best for it. I hope it makes our lives easier. I know that comes with a lot of, hey, we're going to lose jobs and things like that. But generally, when you lose jobs, you're going to find new ones, right? You just got to change with the times.
Right.
You know, the biggest thing is like having a hard time telling the difference between real made by people and real made by AI.
Does it matter?
Um, well, sometimes, right? I'd rather pay a real person for their time and effort than to pay a computer that just regurgitated Von Gogh. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that doesn't negate I might need a picture that looks like Van Gogh, and the AI does it perfectly comparatively to Yahoo number 275 online. That does a pretty good job that's close, but they have their own flair. So
Right.
it's really just applicable in what we're using the purposes for. You know what I mean? If it's something that needs to look okay or
Yeah.
passable or actually copy someone really well, I'm gonna jump for AI stuff. Whereas I want some new and creative and exciting that's uh, soulful. I'm gonna talk to a person.
So
Uh,
back to Steamboat Willie.
okay.
Well, I mean, I love the fact that like this has been I've been waiting so long for this, and like I feel like I'm at a almost a creative block 'cause there's too many things going through my head right now, and I don't know what other people are doing right now and what other people. But I mean, there seems like there's everything going on right now, and how much you have to like how much you can really change before it starts getting into, turning into Mickey Mouse or anything that's still copywritten. But um, yeah, being able to do stuff with anything Disney's been something that been waiting a long, long time to do. And I mean, the stuff that I'm seeing right now is pretty great. And I don't know. I mean, even with AI, what AI's kind of been able to do with it so far has been nice. But like with art stuff, like I can't do art worth shit. It's nothing that I'm good at, but I can tell AI like, hey, I don't know, probably some of the stuff I want to do, I probably can't because I don't think AI would allow it. But I mean, a lot of the stuff probably could do, and then maybe put text in there to, uh,
Gotta make those memes.
right, yeah, yeah. I mean, memes all day, and it's okay now, and it's it's weird. It's something that I am happy that it's able to get out some. I don't know, because yeah, Disney is a whole thing, and I have
Indeed.
yeah. Uh,
So I
it,
think with the patent and copyright stuff for that finally going out the window with Steamboat Willie and them being able to commandeer some of the imagery and all that fun stuff, I think there'll be enough pointy haha with it that people will get it out of their system soon enough, kind of like they did with the Winnie the Pooh.
yeah,
And Superman, you know what I mean? The OG Superman is now public domain.
yeah,
So you can basically do anything you want with the original artwork. Um, but I think after the excitement comes off the first couple of weeks, it won't be that big a deal. You know what I mean? There won't be any brand ruining craziness that comes from Steamboat Willie. Will we poke fun at Disney for all the Disney stuff with the image of Steamboat Willie instead of Mickey Mouse? Of course, because we can. Um, but end of the day, I don't think it's gonna hurt anyone. You know what I mean? No one's gonna make a movie about would be Mickey Mouse that is going to cause more damage than what the current company is doing anyway. So
right, yeah, and I mean, yeah, that's a good point there, and it's it's yeah, like I think they're gonna make there's some what was it? Some it was a video game I think they were talking
yep,
about making with Mickey or with Steamboat Willie, where
yep.
he's a killer. They're making like I think 8 games of it or something,
Oh,
or
I'm so 88 or whatever. Yeah, there's something silly that's coming out. I saw that this morning as well. Um, cool, fun. Again, it goes back to the like Winnie the Pooh horror movie. You know what I mean?
yeah. Did you see
Uh,
that?
I have not watched it personally. I'm not a big horror
Oh,
movie fan, so
me neither.
It's a funny concept and it makes me giggle on the inside. But
That's about all it needs.
yeah, exactly. I mean, then that's all they're going to do with this stuff because they,
And then you move on.
exactly, exactly. It'll be popular for a little bit. If it's a great game, sweet, you'll have a fun new character. But end of the day, it's more of aha, look what we can do, and then you move on.
Right.
If those developers do really well and it's super fun and exciting, and they get to do it with other characters in the future as they come out pattern wise, sweet. Congratulations, developer, you found your niche. Kick butt, take names.
Yeah.
But for most people, I don't think it's gonna matter.
And so I mean, like with the other AI stuff, like with like the music. I mean, there's been
Mhm.
like you were saying, like just being able to put a prompt in, like it's awesome. Like I mean, I like and spend so much time making a song, but then I can make a song also in a minute and a half, and it's probably better. This podcast, I could go and get rid of myself right now and do one of those uh I forgot I don't know what you call it, where you
Like
basically
the
able to clone yourself, sort
oh,
of.
like yeah, I know what you're talking about. So basically, you have an AI replicate what you are and throw it out as the would-be host that stands there and asks all the important questions to whoever's actually
Right.
there.
Yeah. But I mean, and I bet I could do better than I could right now, but I enjoy doing this. So I still do it. But
The advantage of it being a computer is it can talk to computers and knows what the heck it needs to output to be successful.
yep,
Whereas us, we're guessing 90% of the time. We don't get to look at the codes and be like, ah, this is what the thing needs to be successful.
right. And yeah, I don't know. Because then I've also done things like where I did this once, but I didn't go and do any of these when I went and talked to the person. I did okay, look up this person, Google them, uh, write me 10 questions, interview questions about this person. And like the stuff that came up on it was pretty good, but it was nothing that I would never want to ask someone.
Okay.
They were, but that's the charm of the, you know,
I I love
it,
using ChatGPT for those kind of conversational stuff to be like, hey, what's like 10 cool interview questions? Or hey, what's 10 ways to talk about a subject or stuff like that.
you ever
When I
use their
do
name?
what do you mean? Sorry. Whose
Like
name?
if you put like, uh, what are 10 interview questions I could ask Roger Peters?
Oh, I have honestly never tried it like that. I could. I generally
It's
don't really. Okay. I'd try to not do that because there's enough internet privacy. I keep it generic as possible. Also, I use it a lot for like Facebook group interaction stuff. So like interactive posts where I don't want to write 27 ways to make yourself feel better in the morning. Hey, I make this and I'll edit it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That is way better and easier for content creation and can go much faster than me typing things out for 40 minutes to get a 10-second post that four people are going to interact with. Like
yeah.
the amount of
But you got
effort and excitement for those kind of things is an interesting ROI to say the least.
but I mean you got people that are interacting with your posts, and
Mm-hmm.
that's
It's
something.
something, right?
And that it's important. It's important to have that interaction with people
Yes.
in your posts. And you can put out stuff all day and there's no interaction. Like
What's the point? Yeah,
what is the
exactly.
point? But maybe it down the line it might be so, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, there's all this. But I don't know, man. Content creation's crazy, but I mean, it's something that is so strong now. It's so important to have the content and what you can. I mean,
Yeah, it's crazy how if you don't have it, you disappear, especially in an online marketplace. You
yeah,
might be able to get away with some local stuff, but because of how interconnected our world is these days, not having an online presence is basically business suicide. Unless you have something that prints you money, not having some kind of social media doing something is basically asking for people never to find you.
yeah, and which could be good if that's what you're going for.
Right. Yeah.
But
If you're trying to be sneaky.
yeah, if you have a business, then yeah, it's hard to not, put everything online. And it's hard to put everything online. Like, I don't know. I go back and forth a lot. I'm like, I could just drop off and be totally offline, but it's like, well, I got all this other stuff I gotta do online. All my shit's online. So that's where people aren't gonna come knocking on my door. Rusty, what's going on today? I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I mean, so are you on making it like a point for every day to be on and doing content creation, or, you
For the
know,
most part, so like our TikTok was a big focus for me last year. Getting to 1,000+ followers so I could go live
go live? Yeah.
was super important for me, and I did it. We got it. We got there eventually. It wasn't instantaneous. It took us several months and lots of me posting 2 to 3 times a day and all that fun stuff. And now I go on there once a week and apologize for not posting all week, kind of thing. I've gone live a couple times, and just like I haven't had a need to go on there. You know what I mean? Not that TikTok is dead by any means. It's just been I've been doing 4 billion other things and don't have time to make a 5 minute video that I talk about the complexities of why rolling a d6 is better than rolling a d8 or something silly like that, right?
Right.
Um, so the
So,
want and
yeah.
desire for that, I've done a lot more interactions with like our podcast post and getting people to jump on the podcast with us and go through our pre-podcast interview stuff that we do, and the doing the job, I mean, making our website look nice and selling and doing product and doing the product relation things. A lot more of that has been going on recently after the social media stuff, but I do make it a point to interact with our groups, our Discord things. I try to post at least once a week in our Discord to be like, hey, this is what we're doing. Check this out. La, 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 you know what I mean?
We're
Besides
still
the automated
alive.
post, yeah, we're still alive. Come talk to us about silly stuff. Because that's where our community, where our family is, all that fun stuff is on our Discord channel.
Okay.
But we also have like the Facebook page. We have the Instagram. I hate Instagram, BT dubs, just like
Yeah.
with passion. But you have to have one because that's where people are at. We have a LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn that I visit once every 6 months and go, ha ha ha, I forgot about this.
Yep.
There's
That's
still a
kind of,
thing.
there's people on here on the podcast who are guests on the podcast who are all about LinkedIn, and they're like, post something on there, like, okay. And I'm like, oh yeah, LinkedIn. What the fuck is LinkedIn? Like, who are
Yeah,
these people? Who's on
yeah.
here?
We have so many social media stuff across the board for all the things, right? Because that was a big thing for us because we're an online business. We want to be where the people are, which is online.
Yeah.
Um, but there's so much, like if I spent the appropriate time needed for each one of those sites to make them all successful, my entire day would just be social media stuff. I wouldn't be able to do any of the business side of things. I wouldn't get to play games. I wouldn't get to, do the things that make us money. I'd just be posting on stuff and interacting with things to get my followers up.
So where's
One of the
AI with that? When you
so
get into that, and how would that your people like that? And because that's, I'm like, if I can do that, fuck yeah, dude. You guys can talk to my
right.
AI all you want.
So it's getting there. I know some super awesome people in the AI field that are kicking butt and taking names with like getting the cold call sales done and having ways to replicate yourself as a salesperson and send it to excuse me, send it to real people. You know what I mean? If you're selling high value ticket items, 5 grand plus things, and you're trying to make sales as often as possible without being the person doing the actual sales until it's the time to, write stuff up or whatever you need to do for your business. I got
Yeah.
people that do that and they're great. Only downside for us as a company is they cost more than we can afford right now. I mean, it's a really cool concept, and once it gets there, it's gonna skyrocket and make things amazing. But at the moment, it's priced as such because that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
So it's out there. There's plenty of cool things that are doing a great job. The issue is you're gonna have to pay for them right now. You know what I mean? They're not accessible to everyone. Because the people that have been working on them have put a third of their working career into said program or the last 6 years or whatever their thing is, right?
Yeah.
So they get paid what they're worth. And until it gets successful and excited and it can go everywhere, it is what it is. We made it on a TV show our first year in business called The Blocks, and it's an entrepreneurial show. And we tout this as much as we can because we love it. They're great people. We've met so many super cool entrepreneurial people in the blocks themselves. It's on Prime now. I think they started season 6 and 7 are on there. Heck, they might even be up to 8. And then they're streaming season 9 on Facebook or wherever else they stream it on, and on the website
Okay.
and all the fun stuff. We were season 4, so we were before all the cool stuff happened. Um, we were the first season that had like 60 people in it instead of 30. So we were the first quote unquote big group. Uh, so that's been interesting.
So
And
what'd you do on it?
what we do on it? Well, we did all kinds of fun stuff. So it was a what's the best way to describe the blocks? So it is a reality TV show, right? So they're filming real people doing real interactions, and they have their conversations, and they'll pull people off the side to have a this is what I think about today, or that kind of thing.
Sure.
Um, but it's all about business stuff and like the ways to teach and learn and grow. And like, so if you're a business person and you want to learn something super cool, go check out the blocks. Go watch it really quick. Season 1, season whatever. Go check them out. They're all worth watching and spending the time on because you'll learn something, right? I think for our season, uh, we were on there for a whopping 5 minutes of the total season time or something silly, but we're in every intro because apparently we sounded good with our exciting, hey, we're so happy to be here speech. So you see us every time you turn it on, which is great. But it's whatever.
That's
No,
awesome.
it's super awesome. It's a great resource. Again, the people that are there are, if you're a business person or entrepreneur, they are family almost instantaneously. So you'll get and click with as many people as you can super fast, which is great. Um, but being there was just like a week-long class is the easiest way to think about it.
Okay.
So it was
Did-
just continuous learning, continuous testing ideas and thoughts out. Like one of our big things we got there is we changed our first name, right? Our original name that we went there was Apprentice Hero Helpers LLC, and it's still our corporate name. But like we're Epic Sages now. Epic Sages is a much better name. Now we did have a name in between those two that it was a no-go. It was Sages Inc. INC, like incorporated, but it wasn't incorporated, it was just INC shorthand. That is a no-no. You cannot have that as a business. If you're an LLC, you cannot have incorporated in your name. Surprise, surprise. So we had to get rid of that one, and we morphed into Epic Sages. And that's what we've been for a year plus now. But that was one of the things we discovered that we needed to do because as us thinking about our stuff and things, it was like, oh, this is a really cool name. It means something to us as a company. It's has significance for us as people, but it's a mouthful, and people are never going to remember a 20-letter name for a random company that teaches people how to play D&D and their TTRPGs.
Right. Man, I keep every time we say that there's a show, Trailer Park Boys. I don't know if you've
Yes, I,
heard of
I
that
know
one.
Trailer Park Boys. Yeah.
So there's one where they what is it? The trailer park supervisor of the year, and it's the man, it's the I can't remember the whole. There's a whole long acronym for trailer park supervisors and assistant trailer park supervisors. But every time you say that, I always think of that like oh, got got shithead jumping up here. Um, yeah.
It's okay.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
Mine are hiding in the background out of the way. I got dogs, and they are a
Oh,
constant background noise. Dogs and children, the loudest things possible.
yeah, but yeah, did they ever end up on your shows or any of your stuff, or how's that work? Do
Oh,
you?
for sure. Unfortunately, sometimes they pop in. So they're generally the reason I have to edit stuff out because they'll run into the room naked or like just be loud and obnoxious.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times my daughter will come in while I'm in the middle of an interview and be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, I love you, child. Go away.
Hold on a little bit. Camera off.
Yeah. But I intentionally don't throw my kids online as much as possible. I do every once in a while because they're on there and people are going to see them. But as a parent in today's age and an understanding of the internet that I have,
Yeah.
uh, I try to keep them off as much as possible. I understand there's a lot of weirdos on there that I just don't want them interacting with at this point in their lives.
Right. And man, like I see like someone said a long time, not a long time ago, maybe like a year ago, which in the internet is a long time ago,
Right?
um, about like when are some of these kids gonna like start suing their parents for
Yeah, you
whatever?
using them as like prop pieces for their shows and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Right.
You made $4 million because your son is cute and said cute things, and you had an entire series all about him, and your popularity rose, blah blah blah. So you owe him $1 million because you didn't actually pay him.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. I'm not so worried about that for my children, but I'm sure it's going to be a thing. I mean, with
Yeah.
everyone being online constantly and using children for clout reasons or whatever, uh, it's going to happen. Uh, but
Or yeah, like some sort of emotional damage or some shit, or
I'm sure.
I don't know, man. Like it's fucking crazy. Like to but I mean, yeah, some of the stuff's like what were we trying to do? Like I don't know, because yeah, like with yeah, having the kids as clout and the kids making the content, and but who knows, man? Maybe it'll be good for some of them. Some of them it's
Right?
gonna be like, dude, I've been on since I was a baby. I'm
Yeah.
Truman Show.
Who's the kid that was like sells toys all the time? Ryan something or other, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, like Ryan's
His
World or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. Makes way more money than
Uh,
most adults, and all he does is play with toys and whatnot. Now, is he recorded 24/7 by his parents? Yes. I think they've substituted that in the last couple of years by like having animations and other things drawn, so it's not just him recording in all their videos or whatnot. But I know when my daughter was a kid, he was she's still a kid, but when she was little, and I let her on YouTube, she was always on his videos watching his stuff.
What is it
Uh,
about his stuff
yeah,
that's
it's So they just take those toys that are like super kid focusy stuff and they make, oh, this is so cool, so exciting. Look at this. It does the squishy noise, or I mean, whatever. It
right?
ticks the little boxes in the kids' brains that make them go, I want, I need, this is the thing that they get excited about. Luckily, my kiddo was relatively good about not asking for the things then. It's unfortunately now as she's gotten older, she goes to the store and wants everything. Uh, downside of letting them watch those videos, they are very consumer positive. And I am working on the whole figuring out frugality for a 6-year-old.
Right. Right. Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
You can't spend
eh,
your would-be allowance on a toy every time we go to the store. It's not okay.
yeah. And and you can't really say this toy's stupid. Like,
Oh, you can. I tell my kid all the
okay,
time,
good.
like this is a waste of money. Stop. Put it back.
Yeah, you want
This is gonna
something
last.
good? Hold on.
Yeah, what this is a $5 toy that'll make it 5 minutes in the car, and then you're gonna forget about it. You know what? You could, if you want this, we can go to McDonald's and you get a Happy Meal at the same time. Uh,
There you go. Yeah, as long as you're happy. If you're not happy, you don't get a Happy Meal.
right. If you're paying pain in the butt, those nuggets are mine.
Yeah, all of them. All of
All
them.
all
You,
four nuggets they're
all
going in
four
my tummy.
nuggets, man. Yeah, those are my nuggets now. Um.
But for the record, I don't steal food from my children. That is a joke.
Oh, okay. Well, not yet. Not yet. Wait until they can get up to like start buying the 10-piece nuggets and stuff, and then you can start taking a little tax.
Yeah, dad tax. That's not stealing. That's
Yeah.
teaching them early on that taxes are theft and they should avoid it when possible. Wahaha.
Yeah. Um, so where are people gonna find you to if you need to take their chicken nuggets, or if maybe they just want to find you and follow you or work with you or whatever they want to do. How are they going to do that?
Gotcha. Yeah. So, like I've mentioned a few times before through here, I own a company called Epic Sages. We're a TTRPG hosting site. So you can find us at www.epicsages.com, and that'll get you to the website. We're also on all the social medias, basically anything you can think of. We're on there somewhere under some variation of Epic Sages. You can watch us on Twitch. We have a YouTube channel where we produce content. We have our own podcast that we do every other Friday that's done live that you can either watch or come back and check out on Spotify or wherever you find podcasty stuff. It's under TTRPG Classrooms Epic Sages TTRPG Classrooms, and it's got like we're on season 4 at this point of that, so it's been going on for a bit. But
How
yeah,
long is the
we're
season?
always
Or what's the
on it-
season?
so our seasons are defined by arbitrary things like our names changing or us changing the time of when the podcast is, or I try to do about 20-25 episodes per season is the thought.
Okay.
That way it's, we're a year or half a year's worth of uh shooting in a season.
Yeah.
Is the
Okay.
thought, is the plan, all that fun stuff. Do we stick to that schedule? Whatever. Uh but uh Epic Sages is where you're gonna find us. Me personally, Roger Peters. But I go by Rook Online. That's my fun little nickname. We have a Discord community if you're into Discord. We have dots and link trees and all that fun stuff that I'd be happy to share with you post show that you can attach to things if you want.
I have it.
Um,
And
yes,
it's
yes, you
gonna
do.
be in the show notes.
Good.
So
Wow.
you can just click and link right there.
Yes, and it'll get to all of our fun stuff. I'm always happy to answer emails and whatnot. Rook@epicsages.com is our email for me. If you want to get our catch-all everything, it's just sages@epicsages.com. We'll get to us and we'll answer questions, comments, concerns. We work with anybody, anywhere. Prices are what they are for whatever you need. We have about 4 billion things that we sell and do, so we can make things exciting one way or the other. But yeah, that's where you find us. www.epicsages.com is the website. Probably the coolest thing to check out.
Cool. Hey, thank you very much for being on. Great getting to meet you and talk with you and everything else that
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
is here, man. Yeah. Cool. Well, hope you have a rest of your day. Rest of your day. Hope you have a rest of your day. Hope you have a
Me
rest of
too,
the
dang it.
day. Hope you make it to midnight, man. Hope you make it to January 4th.
Right? Me
Yeah,
too.
I hope. Yeah, I hope you have a fucking great day, man. So,
Thank you. You too.
yeah. All right. Well, hey, you take it easy, and we'll talk soon. All right.
All right, deuces.
All right. Deuces, deuces, deuces. So, thank you everyone for listening on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. This is the Public Access Podcast, and that is the show. Man, boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.